Okay, so this episode of Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel is actually marks the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, which this episode not only has the team up of a Ranger team, but a team up of every legendary Rangers in the past seasons have appeared in this episode. So here's a review, which in the beginning of the episode, we actually see that Madame Odious has teamed up with a villain named Lord Draven, who's lived in the Antiverse, which her plan was to conquer the different dimension of every Rangers in there. And with the help of Lord Draven, he can create robot Rangers, but he needs the power of every legendary Rangers, in which we actually see the return of Tommy Oliver, who was the Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Zero Ranger, Red Turbo Ranger, and the Black Dino Dunner Ranger, which Mick had called the Rangers who was actually playing pool to come to the base for the emergency, in which the three hooded figures appeared, which they revealed themselves as Res, the Time Force Red Ranger, Gemma, the Silver RPM Ranger, and Koda, the Blue Dino Charge Ranger, in which they warned them about Lord Draven as they come to take over the dimensions with Madame Odious, in which they told them that they created a device that traveled through dimensions, in which will destabilize their morphing grid. And they gonna need Tommy's help on searching the other captured Rangers, in which they say that they're going to Reefside to find Tommy, only to find out that Tommy is working with Lord Draven and with Madame Odious, who provide him with three arrows, which he charged them as red to break the dimensional barrier. And once that dimensional barrier is broken, they can rule the dimensions. But they actually found out that Tommy was actually a robot, which Draven say only a ranger can trust Tommy because he can trust the other rangers. In which they decide to find the real Tommy. But back at the headquarters, the base of Lord Draven, he can actually see that he cloned so many rangers, in which we see the return of Rocky, Cat, TJ, Trent, Antonio, and Gia as they actually make clones of them, in which the Rangers have destroyed the computer, in which he have made so much robot Rangers to send them to for a dimensional conquer, in which we can actually see that the Rangers have infiltrated Draven's lair, which they actually see him throw the first arrow, which he actually destroyed the dimensional barrier. And once he throw the second and then the third, then there's no way of stopping them from dimensional takeover. In which when they saw Basher Boss getting ready to fight them, someone actually appears invisible and attacked them, which only to find out that it was the real Tommy who used his Black Dino Dunner Ranger powers to become invisible, in which he used it to escape the first encounter, in which he actually saw the Rangers in the base at the dungeon, and that's where the Ninja Steel Ranger is going to find the arrows, while Tommy leads the Legendary Rangers to free the other captured Rangers, as well as they fight Lord Draven. The Legendary Rangers have found and freed the other Legendary Rangers, in which the real Tommy is battling the Robot Tommy, which he morphed into the Black Dino Thunder Ranger mode, which Tommy is using his Red Zeo Ranger mode. Then he used his White Ranger mode. Then he finished it off with the Green Ranger mode, in which we actually see him defeat the robot Tommy, as well as the Rangers have found two remaining arrows, but they were shot down by the robot Rangers as Draven launched the second arrow. With time running out, he knew that they cannot defeat him until the legendary Rangers have appeared and decide to morph into action, where we finally get to see it for the first time. And I actually say that the fighting scene was actually incredible. But when Madame Odious decided to gigantify him, he decided to use the last arrow and shoot at the crack of the dimension barrier. But Tommy stretched back to his White Ranger mode, used the Falcon Sword, which I am so excited to see returning, have grabbed the last arrow just in time, and launch it back toward Draven, defeating him once and for all. And the dimensional barrier has repaired itself, which the dimensions of the Rangers have saved, in which Tommy say that the legacy of the Rangers will always live on, as the legendary Rangers and the Ninja Steel Rangers are returning back to their own dimensions, and which Broly say, now that is epic. And I had to say, oh my gosh, the legendary Rangers have returned, and I cannot believe that they're actually battling with the Ninja Steel Rangers. Now, this is a good way to start the 20th anniversary, as I am loving this episode and the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers as part of National Power Rangers Day. I truly love it. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment on what you think about the episode. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy Jordan here saying sign out. Laters, and happy Natural Power Rangers Day.